Okay, all right. This Shiur is Schus Meforshim Shleima. My father, the Yaakov Yehuda ben Reza. Meforshim Shleima Kloiva. Okay, we're holding Daf. We're holding Daf v.ב-ז.א. v.ב-ז.א. We had a 3 lines from the top. We had a statement. Lover gave us a statement and said that if 3 tovim passed by, so not only are you over blatt, but the chiddush is you over blatt every morning that you wake up. You're gonna be over again. Every night you go to sleep, you can't make a tovim at night, but the morning that you wake up, it's a new issa blatt. And the Gemarrah asks a question. It says there's a blatt that brings down. It says that a b'choil that you have to bring within a year, or any other animal, any other korban they have to bring within a year, he gives you a chiddush. We had 5 opinions, whether it's 1 Yom Tov or 2 Yom Tovim, or specific Yom Tov Sukkos, or 3 Yom Tovim, any, or 3 Yom Tovim. He says a new thing, a new statement. If 3 Yom Tovim passed by, even though a full year didn't pass by, you have a blatt. If a full year passes by, even though in the full year there aren't 3 Yom Tovim, you also have a blatt.
That's where we ended last.
That's where we ended last time. And the Gemarrah is trying to. The Gemarrah asks the question of if the Tana there wants to show us certain new prohibitions. They should have brought this prohibition that every day over. The Gemarrah answers. The Gemarrah here is gonna focus on this idea that there could be a year going by and there isn't going to be any yontif in it. And how?
Not going to be any yontif, or
yeah.
not 3 yontif?
There's not going to be 3 yontif in it.
3 yontif.
How is that possible?
Is just before we get into it, is it possible with our calendar, even today with our calendar?
Yeah.
Or it's only Kiddush HaChodesh?
No, it's possible. It's certain opinions. Yes, you'll see. We'll walk through it, and you'll see there's lots of go. So let's say this. We had, as I said before, we had 5 opinions: 1 Yom Tov, or a specific Yom Tov Sukkos; 2 Yom Tovim; 3 Yom Tovim. Sorry, 1 Yom Tov, any Yom Tov, Dafka Sukkos; 2 Yom Tovim, any 3 specific 3 in specific order. That we had those 5 opinions. Our Tana in the Mishnah is going to say that I don't agree with number 1, that only 1 Yom Tov. I don't agree with 2 Yom Tovim. I agree with 3 Yom Tovim. But I tell you, as soon as 3 Yom Tovim pass by, even if it's not a year, or even if a year without 3 Yom Tovim. So he has this idea of 3 Yom Tovim, but not less than that. So the Gemarrah is going to try to figure out how is that possible to have a full year pass by without 3 Yom Tovim. A full 3 Yom Tovim pass by without a year is very simple. If someone pledges Erev Pesach, Pesach comes, Shavuos comes, Sukkot comes, that's 7 months. That's not a full year. 7 months. That's understood. How that is possible. But his other statement, a full year passed by and there's not going to be 3 Yom Tovim, how is that possible? You have 3 Yom Tovim. Okay, Gufa. So we're holding like maybe 10 lines from the top. Gufa. Echad b'choil v'echad kol hakadoshim kivan she'avu aleim shana b'legolim b'leishana oiv baltachel. So a b'choil, you have to bring it within a year. A kadoshim and a kalban. If a year passes by without any Yom Tovim, or 3 Yom Tovim pass by without a year, to say that 3 Yom Tovim can pass by without a full year passing by, possible. You pledge before Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkos, 7 Yom months. It's not a full year. That's possible. Fine. How can you say a year passes by without any Yom Tovim? So he says like this. We're going to build it down. It could be possible to say that a year passed by without Yom Tovim. If I agree with the concept that if I count Yom Tovim, the Yom Tovim have to go in order. Pesach first, then Shavuos, then Sukkot. Okay? Then I say that it's possible. Why? Because how is it possible? Very simple. You pledge Rosh Chodesh Iyar. Rosh Chodesh Iyar, 15 days after Pesach, you make a pledge. Okay? You have to have Yom Tovim Kesidam. So now Pesach just passed. In order for you to go be Oiv Balta'achal, he agrees that you have to have 3 Yom Tovim Kesidam to be Oiv Balta'achal. So now, Shavuos passes by, you don't count it. Sukkot passes by, you don't count it. Pesach comes, you start to count. Chodesh Iyar comes, you finish the year. Zogich de Achidush. I agree with you that the Yom Tovim have to be considered, but I will tell you that if a year passes by, Chodesh Iyar to Chodesh Iyar, you're going to be chayav. So here you have a full year going by, but he only counted one of the 3 Yom Tovim. So yeah, it is not shaykh for a year to go by without any Yom Tovim. That's for sure not. But what the explanation is that we are not counting those 3 Yom Tovim. We're only counting 2 of the 3, 1 of the 3, because you pledged after Pesach. Shavuot is not going to be counted. Sukkot is not going to be counted. You start to count on Pesach, and 15 days later, the year passes by. So our Tana tells you, our Tana the ב-ז.א tells you, in addition to those 5 opinions, I'm giving you another opinion. The 3 Yom Tovim have to pass by Kasidron. They have to pass by Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. I'm telling you that even though it has to pass by Kasidron, if a full year passes by, you're going to be chayav after a full year.
1 second. So bottom line is, there's no such thing as a year passing by without all 3 Yom Tovim.
Yeah. But the statement has to be really changed, that the year, a full year, Shana, below the golim that I count.
Right. Okay.
That's really how the statement is supposed to be. Okay, that's the statement according to Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon is the one that says that Yom Tovim is to be considered, and that's the statement of Reb Shimon. Now, we want to see, does this statement work with the other opinion as well? We had another opinion that the Yom Tovim don't have to be considered on. If the Yom Tovim don't have to be in order, if I go to Chodesh Iyar and I pledge, Shavuos is counted, Sukkot is counted, Pesach is counted, then you have 3, then you don't have to have the Chodesh. So we have to change it. So the Gemarrah, the one that says that the Yom Tovim don't go in order, how is it possible to say that a full year passed by without 3 Yom Tovim that count? You count all 3 Yom Tovim. Zog the Gemarrah another step. According to Rebbe, you could find a full year pass by, and you're not going to count all Yom Tovim. Why? Actually, not only you're not going to count, actually, it's not going to be 3 Yom Tovim. According to Rebbe, it's possible it's not going to be 3 Yom Tovim. There's a halacha that says if you sell a house, you have to have a year until you can to redeem the house. If you don't redeem, but then Ashna Yovel, what does the pasuk say? The first one in this entitled Shana, if he doesn't redeem it until a full year, Shana Tamima, a full year passed by, then the house completely transfers over to the new owner. Okay? So he has a Shana Tamima. So there's a machlokas, what does Shana Tamima mean? A full year. We have a few concepts of year. We have 354 days. That's a Shana Salavana. We have 365 days. That's just a Chama. We have an Ibaya, they have 384 days, or 385 days. So what is a Shana Tamima? So the Machlokes, the Rebbe says a Shana Tamima in this case is 365 days. Although we're going to count Chodoshim, we're going to do it like this. We're going to go 12 months, 354, and then we're going to add 11 days. That comes to 365 days. What happens if you have a Shana Mubeles? So let's take the same scenario. The Chodesh Iyar, he pledged a kolban, or a Bechorah was born in Chodesh Iyar. He pledged a kolban. Then they decided after the Shana there's going to be an Ibaya. Okay, so Shavuos passes by, count it. Sukkot passed by, you count it. It's the Yom Tov number 2. Then they decide that they're going to make an Ibaya. There's going to be 2 others. 12 months finish when? The Chodesh Nisan, not the Chodesh Iyar, right? Because it's an Ibaya. Now we say we add 11 days. With Alf Nisan. Alf Nisan finishes the year. But Pesach didn't happen yet. So now you have a year that has 2 Yom Tovim, 365 days. So it's a full year, but 3 Yom Tovim did not pass. So according to the Rebbe, that says by Kinyan of Bias, that Shana Tamima means 365 days. And if it's an Ibayah, he only add 11 days. If it's not the Ibayah, he still added only 11 days. He still add 11 days on top of the year. According to that, it makes sense. If it's an Ibayah, a full year can pass by from the Chodesh Iyar until the Chodesh Nisan, until the Alf Nisan. It's 365 days, but not 3 Yom Tov. So the Gemarrah in a wenig. Yeah. Heiche Mishkach. Mishkachas lo l'Rebbe, yeah? But Tosis Kimel Yemois, the Agdasha, sorry, go back, sorry, I skipped a few lines. Bishlem Mishkachas lo b'Sharon Be'ez, it's a Ibayot. It's a leap year, the Tanya. Shana Tamima Rebbe Oim Minus Shleish Mezes Shishim Chamish Yoim. What is a Shana Tamima? You have to count 365 days in order for it to be called Shana Tamima. Keminyan and Moisachama, just like the days of the lunar year, the solar year. Chacham disagree and say you count 12 months, and if it's a Ibayan, Nis'ab Oloi, which means that the original owner has an extra month, but it doesn't mean that you count extra. He gets a bonus. Nis'ab Oloi gets a bonus. So according to Chacham, if he gives it a Chodesh Iyar, a full year is going to be called the next Chodesh Iyar. Even though it's 13 months, he gains a month. That's it. But according to them, you add 11 days. So now, if you pledge a Chodesh Iyar, the pledge will be over. Will be due by Rav Nissen. The Agdash Shabbos Chagamatzes. After Chagamatzes, he was Magdish. He pledged something. The Chemotet Shal Hi Adar, the end of Adar, Chodesh Nisan. Basra, the second Adar, Chodesh Nisan. Shana Malia, that plus 11 days, the full year is complete. A God in the Malia, but there's no 3 Yom Tovim. So even according to the opinion, you have to count any 3 Yom Tovim. In this case, you don't have 3 Yom Tovim.
Within the year.
Yeah, within the year. Truth to be said, this answer could technically be used also for the one that says the Golim Ketikunan in a way. But okay, we're not going to go into that. I mean, they have to go and consider. Zog the Gemarrah weiter. The Rabbanon that say that you count 12 months and if the 13 months is a bonus, how could it be, according to that opinion, that you have a full year pass by without 3 Yom Tovim that you count? Shavuos sometimes falls out on the 5th of Sivan, something on the 6th, something on the 7th. Okay, how is that possible? If Nisan is a mole and Iyar is a mole, it means Nisan has 30 days and Iyar has 30 days. Because Shavuos depends on Pesach and he counts 50 days, therefore, if the months are longer, Shavuos is going to get closer to what's it called? So now it's Hey Sivan. If both are Chasedim, the month is shorter, the Shavuos is going to be Zayin Sivan. So what happened here is a simple thing. He pledged Shavuos was Hey Sivan. That year, Shavuos was Hey Sivan because both months were full. Next day, Vav Sivan, he pledged. Next Vav Sivan, he pledged. Next year, both months are Chosel. Shavuos is now Zayin. Extends Vav Sivan. Sukkah's passed. Pesach passed, but Shavuos didn't pass.
By a day.
By a day. So Rav Shmai says that basically sometimes Shavuos, because we are Mekadosh Apil Iyah, so sometimes the month can be a full month. Sometimes it can be a missing month. First year it was a full month. Sorry, it was a full month. And therefore Shavuos was Hey Sivan. Next day he made a pledge. Vav Sivan. Yisachak Shavuos made a pledge. Sukkot comes, Pesach comes, and now the push of Shavuos, now the final Shavuos is going to be on Zayin Sivan. Vav Sivan comes. A full year went around, but not 3 Yom Tovim. Okay.
It be 13 months.
No, it's not 13 months. It's 12 months. It's not Takn Shas Iba.
Let's say even with the Shnat Shiur.
According, yeah, could be. It would be considered Shana Tamima. The idea, but Chum don't count day by day. They count 12 months. Vav Sivan starts at the count of 12 months. Vav Tammuz is the first month. Vav Av is the second month. Vav, even if you have 2 others, the next Vav Sivan is going to be finished the count of Shana Tamima. But here it happens to be that Vav Sivan is Elev Yantif. And also it's not 3 Yom Tovim. Okay, it's Shnei Meleim, Chamisha. If both are full, if both are mole, is that it's Chamisha B'Sivan, Shen Chased Shiva, Echel Malachas, Shisha. So what happened? Like I told you, that the first year Shavuos was in Hay, he pledged on 6. The next year Shavuos was in 7. Who disagrees with Achedim? So there's one opinion that does not agree with our Tana to say that Shana Shana b'le Shana. Who is that? That disagrees? Achedim. So Meir says ein ben atzeres latzeres and ben Shana Shana el dal yom bevad. A year has 354 days. If you take off 4 days and then divide it by weeks, so 350 divided by 7 is exactly 50 weeks. So a year, a lunar year, has exactly 50 years plus 4 days. So basically, if Shavuos is on Sunday, if I would only have 350 days, next year Shavuos would also be on Sunday because it's 350 days exactly. Because it's 354 days, therefore the year is 300. It's the same a day but plus 4 days. So Shavuos is going to be that same day plus 4 days. That's how it is in Chodesh Lavon. So, but he says it's always like that. After they stopped doing Al Pi De'iyah, they said Echad Molech Chasa. Or another opinion is that even when they did Al Pi De'iyah, if no one came, they did 29, 30, 29, 30, 29, 30. When a month finished, they had a seder. If they had to, they went but otherwise it was 29, 30. So according to the mail, is Shavuos always fall out at the same time. It's not shaykh from Shavuos to fall out in in a different time. So we'll always Vav Sivan. So therefore, this idea, this concept, or this scenario of having a year without 3 Yom Tovim, according to the mail, does not exist. So again, we have 5 shittas, 5 opinions of when you're oivel. 1 Yom Tov, a specific Yom Tov Sukkos, 2 Yom Tovim, 3 Yom Tovim any, or 3 Yom Sukkos, and then we have a 6th opinion in our Mishnah, in our Brisa here, a year without Yom Tovim, or 3 Yom Tovim without a year. And we explain it's a chiddush. Even though I agree with the other shittas that it has to be in order or not in order, I will tell you how it's possible a year goes by without 3 Yom Tovim, and that's a chiddush, and I'm still going to tell you that you're chayav. But according to the Meir, which is the 6th opinion, is no. There's no such thing a year without a year without Yom Tovim, or Yom Tovim without a year, and he has to go back refer to the other opinions. So this basically I just gave a summary of what we just So
What's your Meir? I don't see your Meir.
the Meir, I didn't add a Meir because it doesn't go through some calculation. It says it doesn't exist.
No, that's fine.
So the Pshim and the top one is basically you pledge on the Chodesh year. So you don't count Shavuos, you don't count Sukkot, you start counting Pesach. Year comes, 1 year is there. This is if it's in order. If 3 Yom Tovim are not in order, so according to Rebbe says Shana Tumim is 365 days. A regular year you have to add 11 days in order to make it 365. And then Shana Beres you have to actually deduct 19 days to make it 365. So what happens? It's a leap year. And now you start pledging on Iyal. 354 days is going to be the Chodesh Nisan. You add 11 days, is Yud Nisan. So Shavuos passed, Sukkot passed, Pesach didn't pass. It's a year without 3 Yom Tovim. According to the Shemaya, according to Chacham, this doesn't work because they say Shana Tumim was 12 months, and even if there's a 13 months, it's going to be considered Shana Tumim. So if I pledge Chodesh Iyal, my Shana Tumim will finish Chodesh Iyal, and I'm going to have 3 Yom Tovim. There's no Chiddush to say that a full year passes by without 3 Yom Tovim. So therefore, they have to say, according to Shemaya, the Shavuos is going to be 5th, 6th, or 7th Sivan. What happens the year before Shavuos was on the 5th, he pledged on the 6th, Sukkot passed, Pesach passed. Now is a year 6, 7, and Shavuos is only the next day. Somewhere for what we know. Okay. Sagt die Gemarrah weiter. ו.ב-ז.א. A total new inner. Not totally new, but it's not connected to before. We just said we spoke about the halacha bal ta'ach at length. What if this is if a person pledges and he doesn't keep his pledge? He's over bal ta'ach. What if someone's father pledges something, and he passes away? The kids inherit everything. Inherit his chayvus. If someone's father passes away, he owns a chayv, then they inherit the chayv. If someone's father passes away and he pledged something to bring to the Beis Hamikdash, a kalban, that the kids have to fulfill it. The question is, are the kids over bal ta'ach? Do we give the kids 3 months, 3 Yom Tovim? Do we give the kids only what's left of the father, or do they not have a chal bal ta'ach? So the Gemarrah says, ו.ב-ז.א, Yoshmau, an inheritor. What is the halach with him bal ta'ach? Is he over bal ta'ach? What's the two sides of the coin? From one side, kisida neda machmanav. When you pledge a pledge, so it has to be the one that's pledging the pledge. The pasuk says, "Lo yisachar l'shalmoi." Only the one that pledges is over bal ta'ach l'shalmoi. Amar machmanav all another. The yodesh, the inheritor, didn't make the pledge. Or dilma, maybe it says in pasuk, "V'asa shama v'avesim shama." Everyone is a chiyuv to go to the Beis Hamikdash during Yom Tovim, and during that time you have to bring Maseches Rosh Hashana to Masyetchem, and it should include anything your father had that you have to bring Beis Hamikdash. This is the time you go into the Beis Hamikdash, bring it along. So therefore, you should be oiva balteacha. And for the Gemarrah, Tashma the Tana of Chia, coming here, of Chia said, it says in Pasuk, the Eibishter will request it from you. What does it say? The Eibishter will request from you. You made a pledge, the Eibishter will request it from you. And if you're not bringing it, then you're oiva balteacha. But the Yodesh, the Eibishter is not requesting from him because he never made the pledge. Meimach, Pat Yosh. We had a page before when we dissected this entire pasuk that Me'imach is coming to teach you that if you have a field and in the field you have a corner, peya, or you have left a leka, chikha, the thing that falls down and you have to leave it behind for the poor person, and you decide to pick it up and you're holding it for the poor person, but when do you have to give it to the poor person? The pasuk teaches you Me'imach that the leka, chikha, pay you have to give it within a year. So they use the word Me'imach to teach you about leka, chikha, pay. How can you use Me'imach to teach you that the yodesh is potter? The pasuk could have said, the Eibusher will request it from you without the mem. Because he adds a mem, the mem is teaching you one thing and the imach is teaching you another thing. So therefore, the mem is teaching you the yodesh and the imach is teaching you leka, chikha, pay, or opposite. Okay. According to Rashi, imach is chelka sha'ani, the leka, chikha, pay, and mem is the yodesh. But anyways, boy vo-ב-ז.א. Isha mahu hi b'balteacha. A woman, if she made a pledge, is she oiva balteacha? What's the question? It's very simple. The balteacha is always connected with going up to the Beis Hamikdash Yontif. Women don't have a chiyuv to go to Beis Hamikdash. Isha mahu balteacha. Mi amrin in hola mechayve b'riya. A woman does not have a chiyuv of being seen in the Beis Hamikdash, or seeing and being seen in the Beis Hamikdash, and therefore she shouldn't be chayiv. Or the other side is, she has a chiyuv of simcha. We had this in Moed Katan. We had this in Chagiga. That together with with the oilas to the iya, you have to bring shalom simcha. You have to do a korban shlomim that you eat anywhere in a shalayim, which is shalom of simcha. So here she has a chiyuv to be to go to Beis Hamikdash. The iya she doesn't have a chiyuv, but shalom simcha she has a chiyuv. So that the Gemarrah with ב-ז.א. So what's the question even? If you say she has a chiyuv by shalom simcha, but teiperglei, though you say simcha, she is chayiv shalom simcha. That's the answer. According to ו.ב-ז.א asked the question: a woman is chayiv shalom simcha. According to that, ו.ב-ז.א says, abazoi, she is oiva balteacha. If she has a kolam that she needs to bring, because she has a chiyuv to go to do shalom simcha, she will be included in the lav of balteacha. Okay, but the Gemarrah has a question on Abaya. Abaya doesn't think that a woman is chayiv shalom simcha. Abaya. Did Abaya say that? Abaya said, Isha baila mesamcha. A woman, her husband makes her happy. The woman itself does not have a chiyuv of simcha. She does not have a chiyuv of a kalban. The husband has to make her happy. The husband has to convince her to come to the Beis Hamikdash to be mishtatev, but she does not have. And if she doesn't have a chiyuv, again, there's no balteacha. So how can Abaye say that learns from Besimcha? So the Gemarrah, the ו.ב-ז.א, Abaye Taka says no, a woman does not have a chiyuv of simcha, and therefore a woman does not have balteacha. But according to the ו.ב-ז.א, that you say that a woman does have simcha, according to your words, a woman is going to be oiva balteacha.
That's why you wrote, you could never make your wife happy?
That's what I wrote?
No, you wrote, what was today's tagline?
No, tovim. No, I did not write that. No. I did not write that. Absolutely not. But what does it mean to making Isha Baila B'Samcha? So Rashi says, in Bavel, Rashi says, Baila B'Samcha, Bavel, Bebigta Tzivoinim. In Bavel, you had colored garments. That's how you made a woman happy. You bought a colored garment. He gave her linen that was ironed. That's what it says in Kedushin. Tosfos says that that is Zak Tosfos Isha Baila B'Samcha. Last Tosfos on the page. Pirish bekuntas bebavel bebegadim tzivoinim ube'eretz Yisrael bekli pishtan hamegoatzim. Bavel, it's colored garments. That's salt is iron linen garments. How does Rashi say this? That we're talking about clothing. We are talking about going to the Beis Hamikdash. We're talking about going to the Beis Hamikdash. We're talking about bringing a korban. The whole question of ב-ז.א is that if the woman has a chiyuv of korban in Yerushalayim, then she should be over balta achal also. We come to Rashi and talks about clothing. So the Rashi Rashi is right. He's right that there's a chiyuv of simcha b'bigdat tzivonim, but that is zman hazeh. Av b'zman shebeis hamikdash kayam and simcha bebasal. The simcha is only basal. Could have been about b'avim. Voidim in the chagiga. We learned that a woman that says a kid when does he have I'm assisting the Eza Cotton Shakal Sheni Yochad. What's considered as a little child if he cannot hold on to his father's hand? Lal is Mishlam Abayis. Until now, when did this? How brought the little children? The Gemarrah over there says that the mother has a chiyuv of simcha and she brings the little kids along. She doesn't have a chiyuv of the little kid doesn't have a chiyuv of oilas of the iyah. But simcha, to eat a korban simcha, korban shalom b'simcha. So again, by the time is basically telling Rashi, this entire Gemarrah speaks about kabbanas. Don't mix in bigger tzivonim. So, mefarshim ben atam baila mesamcha. 3 lines at the bottom. Baila mesamcha shachiyuv al baila v'lo eleh. What is taich baila mesamcha? What does that mean? Baila mesamcha is the chiyuv. According to the answer, according to Abaye, that the isha baila mesamcha, it means that there's a chiyuv on her husband v'lo eleh. Her husband has a chiyuv to make her happy. Lefichach, in the time of Beis Hamikdash, the husband had to convince her to go to Beis Hamikdash. Lo kirina beibasa shama, because she herself does not have a chiyuv. Her husband has a chiyuv. She does not have this pasuk of basa shama. We said in Chagiga that it says Vadam Chagiga the Mechayev Imishim Baila. In Chagiga it says that the mother brought up because of simcha. Is everything about Mishum Baila Mishum Hid. The reason she came up to the Beis Hamikdash with the little kids is because she wanted to make her husband happy. Her husband has a chiyuv to make the wife happy. He convinced her to come up to the Beis Hamikdash to be b'simcha, but not that she has a chiyuv of simcha. So according to Abaye, what's Tosfos bringing out? According to Abaye, we could say that even though the simcha has to do with korbanos, not bigdat tzivonim, Rashi wants to say that the answer of Abaye is bigdat tzivonim. No. The chiyuv simcha doesn't exist by kabbanas. It's big that tzivonim. Tosfos says no. Simcha in the times of Beis Hamikdash existed with flesh. Ein simcha lebasal. What's the answer? That even when there was a korban of shalom simcha, the woman had no chiyuv. The husband had a chiyuv to convince the wife to come up, but not the woman didn't have a chiyuv. And therefore, according to Abaye, a woman, because she doesn't have a chiyuv of going up and bringing shalom simcha, she does not have the chiyuv of balta achal. Okay, the test finishes off. Mich asham psachim pergal dvarim afilu b'zman shebesim l'shkayim heichad le'eshem b'samchim b'ksus nekiyav yain yashan. It is, he answers Rashi. Rashi it has a certain there's a certain part of Rashi that could be correct, because it says if a woman is not feeling well or she couldn't go up the first day of Yom Tov, then the husband can be yotzeh with the inyan of simcha by buying her clothing or garments, even when the Beis Hamikdash stood and even when she could bring a korban. Any case, according to ב-ז.א, she's chayav balta achal. According to the Abaye, she's not chayav balta achal.
I don't understand why Tosfos is getting all excited with this. In Rashi it says "Eidilma mechayve lemeisek mishum simcha." Rashi clearly says this is basar. And then I would assume that because the first Rashi is talking about korbanos, the second one is talking about when there's no Beis Hamikdash.
No, so the first question is according to the questioner. The ב-ז.א, you say that the woman has a chiyuv of bringing a korban. Means eating basar shlamim. If that's the case, she has a chiyuv. So according to the ב-ז.א, the first Rashi is speaking according to the ב-ז.א. According to the ב-ז.א, she has a chiyuv of korbanos. She has a chiyuv to go Beis Hamikdash. She has a chiyuv of simcha b'korbanos. According to the answer, so like this. According to the answer, according to Rashi, that Baila mesamcha, no, nothing to do with korbanos, only the clothing. Tosfos says it can even talk about korbanos and still she doesn't have a chiyuv. So the first Rashi speaks about the question according to the ב-ז.א. The second Rashi speaks about the answer according to Abaye. Iboilu. So we said a B'choil has 1 year to be brought to the Beis Hamikdash. Iboilu. B'choil me'emasai moed l'shana. When you start counting the year. Was pshat me'emasai. Two tzdadim. Either from the day he was born, or from the day that he can be brought to the Beis Hamikdash, which is the 8th day. Abai says when the moment is born, you start counting a year. And a year passes by, he didn't meet Beis Hamikdash. Abai says no. From the moment that he's ready, that he's worthy to be brought out, which was basically 8 days. The action is no machlekes. If it's a kosher animal, fully unblemished animal, you start counting from the 8th day, because that's when you can bring it to Beis Hamikdash as a korban. However, if it's born a mum, it has a very obvious blemish, then you can't bring Beis Hamikdash. You start counting from the day it's born, and from the day it's born, then
You're not bringing the Beis
Hamikdash, but you
have to exchange it.
Yeah. So you have a year to do that. Okay. The Rashi says Balmum basically is noiled b'mumoy, and now you're ready to shecht it. So when can you start shechting it? From the day it's born. So the Gemarrah asks a question that could you eat could you eat a balmum on the day it's born? According to what we just said, according to Rashi, that the moment it's born, you see it has a blemish, so it means it cannot be brought to Beis Hamikdash. You can shecht it that day. You can't do that because you have to wait. By a human being, you have to wait 30 days until you finally say it's not an eifel. By an animal, you have to wait 8 days. You have to wait 8 days. You know that the pregnancy was absolutely full term. If the pregnancy is full term, according to that, when the animal is born, you know that it's not an eifel. It's not going to be an eifel, and basically you can eat it right out. Okay, now we start an entirely new sugya, going back to the beginning of the Perek. The beginning of the mission started discussing the different types of Rosh Hashana that they are, and the Mishnah mentions a few. Here, Tana is going to add a few more. Tana Abban. Be'echad b'Nisan Rosh Hashana l'Chadash.
There's more than 4.
One is coming up. Yeah. Tana be'echad b'Nisan Rosh Hashana l'Chadashim. First day Nisan is the Rosh Hashana for the months, meaning that's when you start counting. Rishon l'Chodesh, Sheni l'Chodesh, Chodesh Hasheni, Chodesh Hashlishi. We're not there yet. That's going to be later. Be'echad b'Nisan Rosh Hashana l'Chadashim uleibuin, and for Ibaryad, uletuma shkalim, and for giving shekel. Yeah. So every year has to bring a machatzis shekel. And you have to bring it by by Odin. You start, exactly. And by when Nisan came, that's when he started using those shkolim. So basically, Echad ben Nisan is a Shoshana for shkolim, but that's when he started using the shkolim that just came in. If someone writes a lease for a house and writes that the lease is for this year, so no matter where he's standing, if he doesn't write exactly a date, exactly with the month, but the day, if he doesn't write, this is a lease for this year, he could be standing in the middle of Adar, the lease is going to be up, How do we know that Echad Nisan, Chodesh Nisan, is considered the Rosh Hashana of Chodashim? Because it says clearly on the pasuk, Chodesh Hazeh Lochem Rosh Chodashim. The Eibush is standing telling the Yidden about the Korban Pesach. What does it say? This month that we're standing in is going to be Rosh Chodesh. It's going to be the Rosh of Chodashim. Rishon Lochem Lechot Shoshana. This is the first one of all the months of the year. Dabu called Das Bnei Yisrael Leime Ba'os Lechodesh Hazeh V'Yikol Lochem Ish Sel Levis Aves El Abois. It says there, the pasuk continues that everyone should. The Eibush tells the Yidden that on the 10th of that month, go find a Korban Pesach. And Vaylechem Lishmes Adabas El Machedesh Hazeh V'Shachoto Oisai, and it speaks about Pesach, Matzimim Yichlu, the whole thing. So very clearly, we're standing in Chodesh of Nisan, and the Eibush calls it Rosh Chodashim Rishon Lochem Lechot Shashana. So proof that Nisan is And it goes weiter. V'chsiv shama chsiv. We need this other pasuk also because we still don't know if which month we're in. V'chsiv shama chodesh aviv. And it says right there. It says you should guard the month of Aviv. That's the Pesach happens in the month of Aviv. What's Aviv? Aviv is when the tevuah starts becoming ripe. When everything is growing becomes ripe. Which month is that? Havayim is a Nisan. The pasuk says Rishon. Fatima Kasha. Simple question. Yes, things are getting ripe in Nisan, but things are getting ripe in here also. And for the Gemarrah, it needs to be the beginning, the first ripening of fruits. This is already not. Whatever is ripening in Iyal is late, is a delayed reaction. Maybe other, the first fruits are getting ripe at the end of Adar. So maybe Adar should be the Rishon, the first of the month. And that means that most things become ripe, that is only Nisan, and that doesn't happen Adar. Does the pasuk say Loiv Aviv? It says Shamas Chodesh Aviv. It doesn't say Shamas Chodesh Haloiv Aviv. Midiloiv Aviv Ksiv. So it gives you a different answer. It says in pasuk Ach b'chamisha asu yom lechodesh Shvi. Starting the 7th month. When you gather in all the wheat from the fields. Which month do you have that you gather everything in before the rain season? When is that? Tishrei. Havayim is a Tishrei. You say Tishrei is a 7th month, so count back 7. So therefore, Nisan is going to end up being first. But maybe the pasuk maybe that Shvi is Malcheshvan. Or my Shvi maybe it's Malcheshvan. And Shvi is going to be the Chodesh Hashana. And for the Gemarrah, Bina Asiv needs to gather. Cheshvan is ready too late. Cheshvan, the rainy season starts. You don't do the major gathering in the Cheshvan, you do it in Tishrei. Maybe because you start gathering in. Or my Shvi la'ada. That Shvi, what is it going to be basically the Rishon Hu Lachem? Which one is going to first month? It's going to be Adar. And for the Gemarrah, Bina Loivasiv, it needs to have the majority of the gathering is going to happen in Tishrei. Veleka. For the Gemarrah, the same question. You just brought a whole pasuk, but it doesn't say in pasuk be'ospechem is loif v'asaros midoy v'asikziv. And I'm having a simple answer. There's going to be a couple answers. They're all simple, straightforward. This thing we did not learn it from Teras Moshe, which is the 5 books. We learned it from Nach. It says in there's a pasuk where in Zechariah. No, in Yamim. Where is this pasuk? This is Zechariah. V'yoyim esrim v'arabah, the 24th day le'ashta asa chodesh, for the 11th month. Hu chodesh Shvat. Clear, straight statement. The 11th month is what? Is Shvat. Now, Tosfos adds here that one thing we have to be mekabel is for sure that when the Eden came out of the first Aliyah from Bavel, until then, it's actually interesting. Until then, the Eden called the month with different names: Chodesh Ziv, Chodesh Bul, Chodesh Esan, all different names. When they came out of Bavel, that's when they gave a name Nisan Sivan, and the Kabbalah was that everyone knew that the Seder Chadashim was what? Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, Av, El, Tisha, Cheshvan, Kislev, Tev, Shvat, Adar. So if you stand in Shvat and you call 11 months, you for sure Nisan is the first. Yeah, because otherwise you can ask the question. Call Shvat 11, but I don't know if Nisan is the number 1. Esther was taken to the Achashverosh's house. But Chodesh Hasi, the 10th month, or Chodesh Teves. Go back, you find out Nisan is the first. Afkanu Mahachal. Again, in Megillah, Esther Ba'abas al Chodesh Hatshi Kislev. No, sorry, this is not in pasuk in Megillah. This is a pasuk in Zechariah. Weiter. In Zechariah again. But it says again clearly, the 9th month is Kislev. That the 3rd month is Sivan. Count back, you end up in Nisan. Finding many months, Adar, Shvat, Sivan, all the different months, and you give them a number. So go count back. You'll find out that Nisan is the first. So the Gemarrah, if you're going to bring all these psukim, bring a very simple pasuk, also brought in the Megillah. B'chodesh Harishon u'chodesh Nisan Why do you have to go bring all these Chadashim and start counting backwards? It says in Megillah clearly, B'chodesh Rishon Chodesh Nisan. What does it say in Megillah? Haman made the Goydel in Chodesh Nisan. It says clearly, Shnas Chodesh Rishon Chodesh Nisan. Why didn't all the previous opinions? Why didn't they bring down this Chodesh, this simple, straightforward pasuk? Maybe they thought he could have made a mistake. This is Perek Gimel, right? This is Perek Gimel in Gimel. This is 7 psukim after that the Gidal Melech Achshverosh is Haman, that Achshverosh made Haman big. So it could be that Chodesh Rishon goes according to when Haman became big. So not that it's Nisan, not that right, but Chodesh Rishon goes the first month after Haman became big, which happens to be Nisan, but there's no proof that Nisan is the first month. So therefore they brought all the other psukim, and all the psukim is very clear. Now if you look at all the psukim, this is 11, this is 12, this is 3, this is, obviously the Chodesh Nisan is the first one. The Tana Didon, fighting about going on our Tana, our Mishnah. Why doesn't he bring down a Chodesh that Echad Nisan, Chodesh Nisan is the Rosh Hashana for Chadashim? Tana Didon B'Shanim Kamari, he speaks about the full year. Chadashim Kamari, he's not going to focus on months. The fact that the Chodesh Nisan is Rishon Chodesh, Rishon Chadashim, is talking about months. The Tana in our Mishnah talks about Leilonois, Lamalachim. This is for the full year. We're not focusing on months. That's the end of this Gemarrah. The Mishnah that we mentioned that the Chodesh Nisan is Rosh Hashana Chadashim also mentions that it's Rosh Hashana for Ubadim, for Yibun, for making it a leap year. What does that mean? That basically Chodesh Nisan, the Chacham would sit down and decide whether the following year is going to be a leap year or not. How did they make the decision? A simple thing. It says in pasuk like we had before that Chodesh Nisan has to be Chodesh Aviv, has to be when things become ripe. So because the lunar year is shorter than the solar year by 11 days, and the sun is what makes things grow, so after 3 years, we are behind 33 days, right? So every 3 years, they add another 30 days, and they start catching up. And basically, over a course of 10 years, they had 3 years, 2 years, a regular year, a leap year, then again, and then at the end, they do a leap year, a regular year, and a leap year, right? In order to catch up, because it's still still missing 3 days. That's how we stay on course. That the Aviv, that Pesach always falls out in spring. But this decision to make that year a leap year does not happen in Nisan. This decision is made after Tishrei. For a simple reason, if you do it in Nisan and it's in 12 months from now, people are not going to know. People are going to forget about it. But if you do it after Tishrei, people know in a half year Pesach is coming. People are getting nervous. Pesach is coming. When is Pesach coming? So they discuss this idea that we're going to make a leap year. So the Gemarrah you decide whether the year is going to be a leap year. You started in Nisan. You cannot decide to make a leap year before Shoshana, because people are going to forget. But if you did before Shoshana, it's not considered leap year. So how do you say that Rosh Chodesh Nisan is Rosh Chodesh Shoshana Leibun? That's when you decide to make a ibul. And then the Mishnah goes on of Niatchak. Usually they decide to make it a leap year very close to the actual month, very close to all that they decide to make it a leap year. If you are forced to, they make it after Rosh Hashana, but not before Rosh Hashana. What's Bnei Chak? In order to make it a leap year, the Nasi has to be there. Prince has to be there. He has to decide that they're making it a leap year. What happens if we're worried about that in Adar, the king is going to take the Nasi aside, he's going to kill him, he's going to take him away, he's going to keep him busy. So therefore he said, okay, that's a Chak, and therefore we can decide right after Rosh Hashana to make it a leap year. But he can't do it before Rosh Hashana. So why does the advice here say that the Chodesh Nisan is Rosh Hashana for Ibul? And for the Afal Bikain, the only month that we make it a double is Adar. Amar Rav Nachman, Ma Yibun, what's Taich Yibun? Hafsakas Yibun. Yibun is when do you end? We just said that we can make it that we make the Ibn Adar. The halacha is that you can make the Ibadil until Adar is almost over. You come Aleph Adar, it might not be a leap year. Based on the Gimel Adar, you could be standing Chav Tes Adar, and on that day decide we're going to make it a leap year. And this is what our Mishnah is teaching us. That when is the cutoff? When do you say, okay, we're not making a leap year? That's Rosh Chodesh Nisan. You can make a leap year until Rosh Chodesh Nisan, but Rosh Chodesh Nisan is cut off. That's Rosh Chodesh, that Leibun means that Rosh Chodesh Nisan cuts it off. They testified that they can make a leap year the entire Adar. Why did they have to testify? But people said you can only decide to make a leap year until Purim because they need time to know that Pesach is coming not this month but next month. My time, demand the Amar Purim, Kivin Amar Mashal Bilchas Pesach, we're going to finish it up very quick because it says that halacha is that 30 days before Yontif you have to start talking about the halachas of Yontif. Purim comes, everyone starts talking about the halachas of Yontif. They know Pesach is in 30 days. If you decide to make Ibadah after Pesach, then Tez of Nisan is going to come, and they're not going to make it. They're going to be Mizal Chametz because when the true Pesach comes, they're not going to. They're going to eat Chametz. Vidach March line left. Vidach. The other one says, "Made the yard the Shatim Bears." They know. The other people know that as soon as Shana goes by, as soon as Adar goes by, they know not to rely on any calendar and any date. They're going to wait for the shluchim to come tell them when Pesach is. Made the yard the Shatim Abata b'Chushban Talamils. They know that in order to Mabashon, it's a whole calculation. V'Savin, they're going to know Chushban ud l'Salik Rabbanan. The Rabbanan to finish making this cheshbon if it's going to be a leap year or not. Until now. And therefore the Chodesh Nisan is the time when they know that sits over Pesach is in 15 days. And why did Tana not mention Chodesh for the Bull? Tana didn't, but Tana speaks about the beginning of things, not the end of things. And according to this, Chodesh Nisan is the end when you stop deciding if it's Ibi or not.